Hey podcaster, ever feel like it takes massive, time-draining leaps to make your podcast stand out and fuel your business? Well, think again. Today, I'm exposing the myth that bold action has to be huge. And I'll reveal one simple 15-minute move that could actually completely transform your podcasting journey. Stay tuned because at the end of this game-changing episode, you might just shift how you see every single episode from here on out and start taking those actions that are going to move your podcast forward, because we are here to inspire many, even though we are focusing on the one. So are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Beyond the Downloads, the show that dives deeper than stats and charts to reveal the real impact of your podcast. I'm Jennifer Dragonette, founder of the Bold Action Collective, where we believe that bold moves truly spark transformation. Each week, we explore how your unique story, passion, and purpose can create powerful connections that will change lives, yours and those of your listeners. If you're ready to go beyond the metrics, embrace bold action, and unleash the life raft potential of your podcast, you're in the right space. Let's go. Hello. So we need to talk mindset, and we need to shift to long game versus this short game, quick win, fast approach. Although I am all about taking bold action, and we are going to do that in this episode, it is one step at a time. But we have to think about the long game so that we can figure out what that one step is. So how do these small, tiny changes make big, bold actions and actually create sustainable momentum for your podcast and your business? Well, we have to start looking at the definition of what I called bold. Any action you take to move your business forward is bold. It doesn't mean that you have to come up with an entire business plan, write out your whole content strategy, record 50 messages, do this, be in every DM, do all those things. That is not necessarily bold. It feels bold because it's overwhelming, but bold doesn't have to mean overwhelming. It doesn't have to be time consuming. It doesn't have to be grandiose. We want to focus on those small, purposeful moves that can create a powerful ripple. Case in point, one of the amazing ladies inside the Bold Action Collective, we were on a call and she had not put her podcast out yet. And I was like, okay, everyone, I'm putting you all on silent and you're going to record your trailer right now. I made her record it. I did the edit, I sent it back to her, and I made her start her podcast that day. It took that one bold action. It took collectively between the two of us, maybe like 30 minutes total, and she got started. And now she is making her way through this. That's the ripple. That's the ripple that turns into the tsunami. So why we want to think of the long game with these quick wins is that a lot of the time we're chasing that overnight success, and that is leading to some massive overwhelm and burnout. And that's why only 14% of podcasters sadly make it. That's a huge failure rate. And it's because we're trying to get that quick win. My downloads aren't going up. This isn't happening. The ROI in my business isn't going up. And we're forgetting that these long game actions is what's actually going to show up, because we're so used to social media and that quick hit of dopamine that says, hey, there was likes and engagement and whatever. But we have to take these small steps. It takes one step to get 1,000 miles. You have to keep taking that one step. And that's why we want to talk about these like quick wins, but these quick actions versus a win. So as you're going slow and steady, I know that it's burnt out, the tortoise and the hare, blah, 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 but it's true. So consistent, bold actions, like reaching out to one of your dream guests, maybe pushing record for once, maybe letting an episode go out not so perfect, but to make sure that it gets done. We get better each time we make a new episode. You know, you have to dream bigger and you have to take these small steps if you want that bigger impact over time. So someone that, again, like I was saying, I recorded 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we got her podcast out. But as we're going through this, here's what happened. She took that massive action. We went to a giant podcasting event and she was able to be a featured author because she took that fast action step. That thing that took 15 to 20 minutes, took 5 minutes of her time, 15 minutes of my time. It moved their podcast and business forward. It's about seeing that quick hit make those big changes. So I really want you to start redirecting your thoughts of like, oh my goodness, yes, we need to think big picture. What do you want in 6 months, a year, 5 years? But we really need to break that down into these micro steps, because what I see happen so much, especially with podcasts, is like, okay, now we have a podcast. We're recording it. We're getting it out consistently every week. Now I've got to market this thing. And then what I'm seeing is with these AI softwares and with all these other things, and hey, I fell into this trap too. I absolutely love Capsho for my AI. But what happened for me is that there's so much goodness that comes out of it. I tried to show up on all the platforms. I'm like, oh, I can do TikToks. I can do Reels. I can do static posts. I can do stories. I can be on Facebook. Oh, look, it has LinkedIn articles, blog articles. Now I've got to tweak all this content. Now I'm pulling little clips from my podcast. And what happens is this repurposing becomes so overwhelming that you stop doing anything and you stop showing up. So I encourage you to start taking these smaller steps this week. Maybe it's pitching your dream guest. Do you even have a pitch ready? Okay, maybe you don't have a pitch ready. Research them. 15 minutes one day, research your guest. 15 minutes the next day, think of a couple of topics you want them to come talk about or you want to be on their show for, whether you're pitching or you're wanting to pitch your show. Then start writing your pitch. Take 15 minutes every day and perfect that pitch. And then on day 7, send it. You know, maybe that's recording a mini episode because you're so far behind and you're like, I'm just going to skip this week. Record a quick hit. I don't care what it is. If you're someone who's a spiritual mentor or somebody who does one of the practices that you can do, tapping, meditation, do a quick hit exercise. Here is a 5-minute get back into your body exercise. Here's a quick hit on how to get your podcast to grow. Here's a quick hit on how to move this forward. 5 minutes. And then don't spend a lot of time over editing. Get it in, get it out, get it scheduled. Yes, I want you to do some research. I want you to get that SEO. But remember, with podcasting, it's forgiving and we can go back. So if you record it, again, I don't want you recording from your phone and without any sort of mic or headset or anything because it sounds terrible. We still have to think of the listener's experience, but it doesn't have to be so edited down and crazy. There are so many cool softwares out there for the independent indie podcaster that can truly help you where you don't necessarily need to be a sound engineer. Hiring somebody like me in my production business, yeah, I'll go through. I'll make sure you sound good. I'll make sure that everything's, leveled correctly. I'll make sure it's mixed and mastered the way a professional would do it. But you don't need to do that. You do, however, have to think about the listener's experience. If you're hearing clicks and wind and scratches and all of that, and your levels are going from low to blowing out people's eardrums, not going to work. So you do have to do that, but take that quick hit. What is that quick thing you can do in 15 minutes to move your podcast forward? Maybe that's creating a post in somewhere that you show up. Maybe that's reaching out to 5 people in DMs and just having a conversation with them and starting that up so that they see when you post in your stories that you have a new episode. So bold action, again, doesn't require a full work day. You don't even have to have an hour. But if you can start micro stacking these micro tasks up, you're still moving forward. The journey of 1,000 miles takes one step. Take the one step. So what is the next thing that your podcast needs right now today? Does it need another guest? Does it need you to spend 15 minutes getting in DMs? Does it need you to spend 15 minutes actually sitting down and planning your next episode? Does it need 15 minutes to promote it in your stories? Does it need 15 minutes to do whatever? And one of the things that I suggest, because I have fallen into this with the repurposing where you're constantly pulling clips out of your show, it is so much easier to record your episode. Here's a bonus tip. Record your episode, and then as soon as you're done recording, pick up your phone and record a reel or a TikTok about the highlights from that episode and invite them into the podcast. It is so much faster than having to find the right clip, having it sound weird, having to add a hook and an outro and all of that stuff if you just record new native content for that platform. And that's what I think we missed out on, is so many people just say, pull clips, let AI pull clips. They are not producing the results that you want. You will have much better results if you actually record your episode. As soon as this stops, I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm going to do a quick hit about what I just talked to you about. And then I'm going to do an invite in. If you want to listen to the full episode, go see it on this show. And then what'll happen is I'll upload it into either TikTok or to a reel, and I will put captions on it and maybe some transitions, and boom, I'm done. So it took me 5 minutes. Whereas if I have to do all this other repurposing stuff, it's going to take even longer. And again, there's times and places for repurposing, but they're not really working. Great. You can also pick up your phone and go into your stories and say, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I just recorded this episode about this, and this. I can't wait for it to drop next week. Great. Save that. And then you can keep adding to it and use that excitement. It's so much easier than we're making it out to be. And I think that we've over repurposed things, and that is why we get so burnt out. So I really encourage you to take bold, small actions. What is it that you are going to do? So if you are super stuck and you're like, I don't know how to take bold actions, I don't know how to do this, and you really want some place where you can take bold actions, you can have group support, you can have me as support, you need to join the Bold Action Collective. What we do is we meet every week on Zoom. You get 20 minutes of hot seat coaching for your business, whether that's your business, your podcast, coming up with clarity, getting out of a rut. We actually focus and create a plan that's based on your business. And it's not just me. Yes, you get my fire hose approach, but you also have the collective. And there is something magical about being able to bounce your ideas off of 37 plus women. Yes, there's 37 of us right now. We don't all show up on the call. Don't worry, we're not there all day long. But you can take action. And then in between, if you are stuck, you can pop in the group, ask the question, and everyone there is truly there to support one another and help each other rise. And I absolutely love this. It's one thing that I've missed in all the memberships and masterminds. It seems like everybody preaches at me all the ways that it should be, and they never fit in my business. This one is actually, we listen to you, we help you for what works for you. And of course, there's tech trainings. If something tech comes up that I know how to support you with, or somebody in the group knows how to support you with, we create that tech support for you as soon as the call is over, and we work through it together. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to feel like you're lost. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. You can make a strategy that fits your way. So if you want to join us, go to the boldactioncollective.com, or the information is in the show notes. Because you know what? You deserve to have your story and your gifts out in the world. You have enough, you are worthy, and somebody needs to hear what you have to say. So go out, make today amazing, because you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are worthy, and your story deserves a microphone and some listeners to hear it. All right, see you next week.